There are moments that just seem to capture everything that's going on in a country. And a single violent event in Minneapolis has done just that, setting off a political firestorm that's exposed these massive cracks in American society over guns, justice, and the power of the federal government. So we're going to break down what happened, why everyone is so divided, and what it all means.
This right here, this is the question at the absolute heart of the Alex Pretti killing. And it's a question that has no easy answer. You know, depending on who you ask, you're going to get a response that reveals a completely different vision of what America is and what it should be.
Because what happened to Alex Pretti isn't really just about one person anymore. It's become this symbol, right? A flashpoint for the deep, deep polarization that's gripping the entire country.
And believe me, the stakes could not be higher. Just listen to these words from Republican Senator Bill Cassidy. When he says the credibility of ICE, that's Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, are on the line, he's pointing to a massive crisis of confidence in our federal institutions, and that feeling is coming from all sides of the aisle.
So to really understand all the political fallout, we first have to go back to the beginning. We need to understand the facts of the event itself. What do we actually know about what happened on that day in Minneapolis?
Okay, so according to Minnesota officials, these are the basic, undisputed facts. Alex Pretti was killed by federal agents, he was a lawful gun owner, and, critically, he had a permit to carry that firearm. These details are just so important because they're the foundation for the entire legal and constitutional debate that exploded right after.
And that debate, of course, brings us right to the Second Amendment. You know, the right to keep and bear arms is such a foundational American idea. But when federal agents kill a legal gun owner, it basically forces this national reckoning, a moment where everyone has to ask, what does that right actually mean in the real world? All right, let's get into the response, because it was immediate, it was chaotic, and man, was it fractured. The second the news broke, it was like this chorus of conflicting voices just erupted, and it showed just how differently people were seeing the exact same event. So first up, here's the official position from the Trump administration, and it comes from FBI Director Cash Patel. Their argument is pretty clear. Being at a protest changes the whole legal equation of carrying a gun, permit or no permit. But then, just listen to the fierce pushback from a former insider. This is John Mitnick, an official who actually helped create the Department of Homeland Security under President Trump, and he's using these incredibly powerful words. He's not just criticizing the agency he helped build, he's calling it lawless, fascist, and cruel. That is a stunning rebuke. And this right here really shows you the deep divide inside the Republican Party itself. You've got Congressman Thomas Massie, who is a huge defender of the Second Amendment, and he's directly contradicting the administration. For him, the context, the protest, it doesn't matter. The right is absolute. And the criticism goes way beyond just the current political players. I mean, former President Bill Clinton's statement, it speaks to this much broader feeling of distrust, this idea that you just can't believe the official story. And that feeling gets a whole lot stronger when people start comparing this case to another one that's still fresh in everyone's minds. Now, to really get why people are so outraged, we have to talk about the Kyle Rittenhouse case. I mean, it's just impossible to ignore this comparison, and it is absolutely central to the entire debate that's happening right now. Okay, first, listen to President Trump's reaction to Alex Pretti. He focuses on the act of bringing a powerful, fully loaded gun to a protest, right? He's clearly showing his disapproval. Now just hold that thought.
Now, listen to the complete change in tone when he talks about Kyle Rittenhouse, who, remember, carried an assault-style rifle during protests and killed 2 people. The president described him as a very nice young man. The contrast is just stark.
In this slide, this just lays it all out. This is the perceived double standard that is fueling so much of the anger out there. The Trump administration labels Pretti a domestic terrorist before any real investigation. He has a legal gun and he's killed. On the other side, Rittenhouse has an assault-style rifle, gets praised by the president, and ends up being acquitted of everything. For millions of Americans, it's just impossible to reconcile these two things. So yeah, this is way more than just a debate on social media. The political fallout from the Pretti killing is now spilling right into the halls of Congress, and it's threatening a full-blown showdown that could actually shut down parts of the government. So let's walk through how this could actually happen. Step 1. To protest the killing, Senate Democrats are threatening to block the funding bill for the Department of Homeland Security. Step 2. That move could trigger a partial government shutdown. And what that means is that critical services, I'm talking about TSA agents at the airport, FEMA's disaster response teams, they could all be affected. But here's the kicker. This is a critical piece of context. Even if a shutdown happens, it won't touch the $75 billion that has already been set aside to fund ICE. That money is locked in. So the Democrats' protest, while powerful, is also largely symbolic. It just shows how hard it is to force accountability through government funding.
But, amidst all this division, all the political maneuvering, there is one thing that nearly everyone seems to agree on. So let's get to the final piece of this puzzle, the universal call for an investigation.
And honestly, this might be the most surprising part of this whole story. Just look at this list. It is a rare and frankly stunning coalition. You've got Democrats and Republicans, former presidents, the NRA, and even former Trump administration officials all demanding the exact same thing: a full, transparent investigation into the killing of Alex Pretti.
Which, of course, brings us to our final question, doesn't it? In a country this divided, where two people can look at the very same set of facts and see completely different realities, can any investigation actually deliver a truth that everyone accepts? Or will it just become another battlefield in our ongoing culture war? That's the question we're all left with.